First, the USDA's Justice for All non-discriminatory statement, which simply states that all persons must be treated equally without regard to their race, color, national origin, sex, religious creed, disability, age, political beliefs, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity, and that our institution provides an inclusive space for all. For more information on the And Justice for All statement, please visit the USDA's website.
Today, I'd like to thank Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Mercer County, Department of Family and Community Health Sciences, and Rutgers SNAP Ed for helping us support this video. And today, we are learning all about asparagus. So right now, I'm at the Tucker Street Garden in Trenton, New Jersey, and I'm standing right in our asparagus patch. I'm going to show you a little bit about how asparagus is grown, how it's harvested, and some of the nutrient content. So, if you've never seen asparagus grown before, this is your chance. I'm going to show you right here. The majority of the plant is underground. It has a root system that reaches about 2 feet in diameter and 6 feet in the ground. And this asparagus plant is about 8 years old, maybe closer to 9 years. And asparagus lives for a really long time. It can actually live up to 35 years if it's taken care of really well. So it's a perennial, and it's really a long-term investment in terms of gardening. So with our asparagus plant, I usually, what you would do is you would plant it, and let me see where it is. You plant something called a crown, and this is basically the beginning of the root system. And farmers aren't typically planting it from seed, because to get to this point, it takes about 2 to 3 years. So seed farmers will grow these crowns from seeds and then sell them to farmers. And then once we get these roots, we actually can plant them. And so I'm going to show you how to do that right now. What I would do is, with my trowel, I'm digging a hole, and I want to be able to, I make like a little mound in the soil. And then I take my roots, they kind of look like a squid or something, and I put them around this mound. Right, just like this. And then I'm going to cover it up, and I actually want the very top part of the crown to stick out. So once I have that, once I get all of these planted, it takes about 3 years before I can start harvesting. And that's really because the plant needs to start to build up some energy to produce longer asparagus spears. So the first year I plant this, my asparagus is going to look like this. And you can actually see, while we're eating the stem of the plant also has leaves in this fern, and eventually it'll get seeds. They look like little, there's fruit on them, they look like little red berries, and that's what we grow the root from. So I really need to take some time getting any asparagus. And the first year I don't harvest this at all. I'm just going to leave it and let the plant build up energy, which is getting from the sunlight and photosynthesizing. But now with this patch that I've had for 9 years, I can harvest a ton of asparagus. And so each plant produces about a few spears every season, so you actually need a lot of them. And they can actually grow up to about 6 inches in a day. So they're growing really fast, but they have a really short growing period, some for about 8 weeks, and then we're done. And then what happens after we're done harvesting them, they start to grow like this. They'll send out their leaves, they'll have flowers, and they'll eventually produce seeds. And we leave them until the fall, and then we would cut them down and start again. Now, when I harvest them, I'm looking for an asparagus spear that's about 8 inches. If they get too big, the bottom part, and you can see with some of these, it gets kind of woody and it's not really edible. So I try to harvest them at about 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches. And I want to get really close to the bottom, and I just harvest it like that. It's really simple. If I don't harvest it close enough, and you can see kind of in this example where it's was cut in the middle, sometimes it kind of ferns out or gets what's it called? It splits. So, and it gets these ferns. So I try not to do that. And so you might notice this asparagus is purple, And what we see in stores are usually green. And so it does come in different varieties. The purple tends to be a little bit sweeter, but when you cook the purple, it still turns green. So it's only going to stay purple if you're eating it raw. And I don't know how many of you have been able to see asparagus being grown, but raw asparagus, when it's fresh picked, asparagus is an excellent source of nutrients, and I recommend eating it during the spring when it's in season. You might, as I mentioned before, asparagus has a really short harvesting window, so you might only notice it in the grocery store from March to maybe about June, and that's really the only time that it's available. So get it while it lasts. It's a perfect time of year to buy asparagus. And tell me about the ways that you like to eat asparagus in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today and learning about asparagus.